Hey everybody, it's Dave Dugdale, learningvideo.com. This is going to be a test between the Canon 80D and the Sony a7R II in terms of dual pixel autofocus versus Sony's focus settings. I'm going to probably do two different tests. Right now, the Sony, I have the 16 to 70 lens, and I noticed in my test earlier, once I got to about right here, it started to pulsate in the background very quickly. And right now I've got it set onto its fastest settings, fastest tracking and fastest drive motor speed, I guess you could say, for the autofocus. The Canon 80D seemed to, again, I was reviewing the footage just on the small display, but it looked like it was working better than the Sony. Now I did these tests inside, and there wasn't much difference between the two. But in this heavily backlit situation, I thought would be more of an acid test of tracking. And both of them are set, it's 1080, and they're both set to face detection. Now I think I think both manuals pretty much say once that box gets to be very tiny to about right here, it doesn't track the person's face anymore. So I can go all the way back here. I'm not sure exactly what it does back here, but that's one thing. Another thing is when somebody talks with their hands, does it focus on their hands? I'm going to put my hands forward, make a box around my face, I guess you could say, and see if it grabs hold of my hands. Now I'm shooting both of this at f4, and I'm also shooting it for slow motion. So I'm going to cut right here. All right, now I've changed the drive speed and the tracking speed on the Sony to be both normal. So they're at their kind of middle setting in terms of sensitivity and drive speed. Because I noticed once I got about right here, it was kind of pulsating, which I didn't want it to do. So actually I don't know the results of this test. I'll have to watch it back. All right, this is the third test, and what I've done here is I've taken the drive speed for the Sony and put it to slow. Sometimes I use that a lot. Sometimes I don't want it to pulsate, so I put it on the slow tracking. So it might not recover quickly when I do this, or if I go out of frame and then I come into the frame, it might take it a little bit longer. But I would rather it be slightly slower than doing this pulsating that it was doing right about here. I'll just keep going backwards, farther and farther away. I can't see the box on my face anymore because it's just so far away. And right about here I can see the box is on my face. So now what I'll do is I'll talk with my hands, hold my hands out like this, see if it grabs hold of the hands, cover one eye. Like I lost the box on the Sony right there, and sometimes it gets confused and because it can't see a face anymore. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only reason, well, there's actually another reason I got the Canon 80D in for review. I don't own it. I'm just playing around with it. But one was just to see how much better the Sony is compared to I just wanted to see how good the dual pixel was compared to the Sony. And the other reason I got the camera is I'm trying to get these cameras to match up. So I can get the Canon colors that are in this camera and put them into the Sony, because I do like the Canon colors. And that's been a really tough nut to crack. I've been working on it pretty hard for the last couple months, and I'm definitely making progress. Definitely making progress. All right, so if you've stayed with me this long and you're watching, you've seen pretty much the extent of this test. You might come to a conclusion on which one works better. All right, I'll end it right here. Talk to you guys later. Bye.